friends! Today we are talking Tamagotchi Pix, tips and tricks to get the most out of your Tamagotchi. I have amassed a large number of tips and tricks from the community and from my own personal experience of using the Tamagotchi Pix for the last 2 years. I'm making this tips and tricks guide with new users in mind. However, I'm hoping that if you've had a Tamagotchi Pix this entire time, that you'll learn something new too. As while I was doing the research for this video, there were a lot of things that I learned that I did not know. And I'm really excited to share all of that knowledge with you here today. But before we get started with the actual gameplay, there are a couple of things that I cannot recommend enough. First of all, we have a screen protector, rechargeable batteries, and this last one is optional, but a silicone or a crocheted case for the outside of your Pix. I've said this in other videos and I'm gonna say it again here now. Get yourself a screen protector. They are very cheap on Amazon or around the internet. You can find them. You can even get the larger sheets of screen protectors and cut them down. I recommend this because the Tamagotchi Pix is known to scratch. So I put mine in my purse. There are other things in there. The screen has gotten scratched. So my latest Pix party had a screen protector put on it as soon as I opened it up. Just like with your other electronic devices, you're gonna wanna put a screen protector on your Tamagotchi Pix and Pix Party to keep it in the best shape possible. So next up we have rechargeable batteries. The Pix camera, screen, and touch buttons really drain the battery. Users' experience does vary depending on the battery they are using, but some have reported that they only last a couple of days to as short as a couple of hours. I've done some experiments and used some very expensive, high quality batteries, and I talk about all of that in this video here. And that will go into details about all my experiments with batteries, but for the purpose of this video, I cannot recommend rechargeable batteries enough. These will save you in the long run. Also, little tip here, turn the brightness down on your screen. This will save your battery in the long run. And you don't even need it that bright to see all of the details on the Tamagotchi Pix. And then there's the optional silicone case. I do know many of you like to protect the entirety of your Tamagotchi device, not just the screen. So there are options. You can get a silicone case like this, or you can go on Etsy and support an artist and pick up a crocheted case. And this will help protect the outside of your Tamagotchi and not just the screen. This will protect the outside. And they come specifically made for the Pix with a little camera hole here and a place for the lanyard. I bought this one to match my blue Tamagotchi Pix, but the purpose is the same. If you want to protect the outside, get yourself a silicone or crocheted case. Now that we've talked about the actual device, the batteries, and how to protect it, let's talk about the gameplay. Now that you're ready to get started with your Pix or Pix Party, go through the beginning screen, which will ask you a number of questions, get information like your name and your birthday, and the game will pick an egg for you. Don't worry too much about how you answer the questions. This is just the game's way of figuring out which egg to start you off with. Both the Pix and the Pix Party have 3 egg options that are available. Each egg will give you access to different characters. Your Tamagotchi will start off as a baby. This stage is very needy, but don't worry, it doesn't last very long. After about an hour, your Tamagotchi will evolve into the child stage. But for that first hour, there are very limited options on how you can play and interact with your Tamagotchi. We'll be able to feed, play with the rattle, clean up, and give it medicine. After the baby stage, your Tamagotchi will evolve into a child. And at that stage, it will last about 24 hours before it evolves into the teen stage. It will stay at the teen stage for about a day or two, and then it will evolve into its final adult form. At the early stages of life, in the baby and child stage, its happiness is the most important factor in determining what character it will evolve into next. For the final adult evolution, it will take into account how you've taken care of your Tamagotchi throughout the entirety of its lifespan. There are these things called care mistakes in special conditions that will help determine what Tamagotchi you will get in its final adult form. So what exactly is a care mistake? A care mistake is when a Tamagotchi calls for you, either it is unhappy or it is very hungry, and you do not do anything to take care of it. What happens is this little attention icon will pop up, and then if you don't answer it within 15 minutes, the icon will disappear and a care mistake will be counted. You can obtain characters that you want by figuring out how many care mistakes it needs and getting that number of care mistakes prior to the adult stage. And then if you accidentally get too many care mistakes, which I have been known to do for getting my Tamagotchi occasionally, there is something called a special condition that you can meet to still get the character that you're looking for. So for example here, if you're trying to get Love Lychee, which requires 0 to 1 care mistake, but you have gotten 2 or 3, then you can still get Love Lychee by meeting the special condition, which for her is eating the dessert platter 3 or more times. There is an entire guide that I'm going to link below that will help you figure out which character you can get depending on the egg that you have and how many care mistakes or special condition you'll need to meet in order to get that character. On the Pix party, there is also the option of inviting that character that you're trying to evolve into to the party 5 or more times. I personally have never done this, but I think it's a really nice option to be able to do if you have this character available for you to invite to the party. You have to invite it on the device. You can't invite it through a QR code, so that's the only downside for that trick. But if you've met that character that you're trying to evolve into, invite it to the party 5 or more times and you'll get that evolution once it becomes an adult. Once you have an adult, you'll have around 4 days or so to train with it. Depending on how you take care of it and how you train it will determine what profession your Tamagotchi gets at the end of the game. There are in total 3 different training rooms: cooking, performance, and customization. You'll get the cooking room by feeding your Tamagotchi a lot of food or cooking with it a lot. I find that this is the easiest room to get, as you're going to get it just by taking care of your Tamagotchi's basic needs, like eating. There are a couple of different cooking rooms depending on what profession your Tamagotchi is able to get, but the games are all played exactly the same. You're gonna have this bar here. You are going to try to get in the red or as close to the red as possible to get a higher score. Get in the red all 3 times and you will get to keep the item that you make, which is super cool. The performance room is obtained by playing a lot of games in the arcade. You can also get this room by exploring and visiting the park a lot. For me, this is the second easiest room to get, as I do find to get my happiness up, I play a lot of games in the arcade. Just like with the cooking room, there are a few performance room options depending on what profession your Tamagotchi is able to get. The game here is the same for all of the options. You are going to be tapping on the screen to get kind of a rise out of the audience to get them excited for whatever your Tamagotchi is performing. Tap all 3 buttons at the same time to get a giant heart. And lastly, the customization room can be obtained by playing with a lot of items, using accessories, and customizing your furniture. In my 2 years of owning a Tamagotchi Pix, I have obtained this room exactly 0 times. I do not play a lot with the items, I do not put on a lot of accessories, and I almost never customize, so I've never obtained this room. But I'm reading that the game is a memory game, and there are 3 different types of customization rooms you can get depending on what profession your Tamagotchi is able to obtain at the end of the game. And just so you're aware, the training room can change every day depending on how you have played with your Tamagotchi. At the end of 7 to 8 days, your Tamagotchi will request to go home. You'll see a little icon that pops up next to it that is a picture of the Tamagotchi planet. Pressing any button on your Tamagotchi Pix or Pix Party will start the end sequence. Here, you'll be able to create an album of some of your favorite photographs and learn what profession your Tamagotchi became. At the end of this sequence, your Tamagotchi will give you a new egg, and the entire process can start over. Be careful though. If you fail to start the end sequence within a certain period of time, I think a couple of hours, or you neglect your Tamagotchi at any point within its lifespan, it will pass away and you will see this grave scene on your screen. I'm here to tell you that it's okay. Even if you take really good care of your Tamagotchi, there is still a possibility that if you happen to miss it getting sick, or if you leave it on the end screen sequence too long, it will die. Good news is that this isn't the end of the game. You are able to start over with a new egg. I have a couple videos that I will link for you that explains all the details around what happens when your Tamagotchi dies, but there is a button sequence that you can use to start over. Hold down the left button and tap the right button until you get a new egg. On the complete opposite end of that, if you happen to take exceptionally good care of your Tamagotchi, when the end sequence starts, you can request that it stay with you forever. If you don't want to let go of your Tamagotchi, you don't want to say goodbye to it, you don't have to. When it requests to go home, all you have to do is ask it to stay. If you do that, you can keep your Tamagotchi for longer than the 7 to 8 days. It looks like you can keep it forever. All right, now that I've gone over my tips and tricks for during the Tamagotchi's lifespan, let's talk about some additional things that will help you get the most out of your gameplay. Here's a few things that some people might not have actually known. If you swipe the screen while your Tamagotchi's in its room, going to the left will take you outside. If you do this at least once a day, you'll be watering the trees that are outside, and you'll get some really cool items this way. Typically, you'll get fruit like apples, bananas, peaches, cherries, but I have seen the occasional hot dog fall off of that tree, so don't forget to water your trees every day and see what item you get. Swipe to the left and you'll be able to see the date and time that is programmed into your Tamagotchi. If you've changed the batteries recently, you might need to update this, and that can be done in the settings. You can also swipe on the menu here to go quickly between the two menu options. Instead of pushing the A button to scroll all the way through, just do a quick swipe and you'll be on the second screen. Okay, here's one that I didn't know until I started doing research for this video, and it's probably really sad. If you already know this, let me know if I'm ridiculous down below. But the camera on the Tamagotchi Pix in the Pix Party can only see 5 colors. So it can see red, yellow, blue, white, and black, and that's it. The Tamagotchi Pix and Pix Party can only see those 5 colors, and the combination of those different colors will get you different food when you're cooking. A tip that a lot of you shared with me on my community tab is that you can use your phone to find the color that you're looking for. Turn up the brightness on your phone, find a picture of the color, and take a picture of your phone to get that specific color you're looking for when you're cooking. Genius, right? I never thought to do that. This next tip is about using online guides. Now, I personally like to use a Tamagotchi and figure things out on my own, but online guides are there to help you get the specific character you're looking for, help you to make its type of food, to help you with cooking. There's so many guides for everything Tamagotchi Pix and Pix Party out there, so I highly recommend using one. And for me, I am usually very busy, so I don't always have a lot of time to play with it. I like to go through guides or even just trial and error to find what food my adult Tamagotchi likes the most and use that food to help fill its hunger and its happiness. A little trick that I picked up, you can hit both things if you feed it its favorite food. And using an online guide will save you a lot of time to help figure out what your Tamagotchi's favorite food is. And you can use the colors on your phone to help you find the exact color combination for that food you were looking for. This next tip will probably only last for a certain amount of time as the Tamagotchi Uni is just around the corner, but Tamagotchi.com does have a weekly game. If you don't know about this, go onto the website and you can play a Pix themed game once a week, and a new item will be available as the reward for finishing the game through a QR code. I think it's a nice way to get some additional items on your Pix or Pix party. And speaking of QR codes, this was obvious, but I still want to talk about it because I think it is so cool that you can use a QR code picture that you found on the internet to get a Tamagotchi onto your device. Send a picture of your QR code to your friends, get a picture from them, and you can get their Tamagotchi onto your device no matter where they are in the world. See here, I'm pulling up this picture from a Facebook collectors group I'm a part of. Someone is sharing their code. Here, I can use my camera to take a picture of this code and get their Tamagotchi to visit my device. See how easy it is to invite someone to your Pix? All right, and this is the last tip for QR codes, and then I'm gonna stop talking about them. But this one is big. If you don't have time to wait for the weekly game to come up with the item you're looking for, there are websites that have all the QR codes you are looking for. You can get anything you want using this website and the camera on your Pix or Pix party. And they'll be especially useful once Bandai switches over from the Tamagotchi Pix and Pix party over to the Uni and no longer supports the QR code game that's available on their website. This next one, maybe not like a big tip, but just something to be aware of. The Tamagotchi Pix and Pix party doesn't show you how many care mistakes you have, so this is something that you have to keep track of yourself. I personally use the teen stage because care mistakes become important once you get to the teen stage to see how many care mistakes I have. Otherwise, I recommend keeping a tally on a piece of paper or in your phone every time your Tamagotchi calls for assistance and you ignore it. This method should hopefully help you track all your care mistakes while you are trying to get a specific character. And this tip here is for if you are very busy, use the babysitter. It's kind of a buried function on the Pix. I talk a bit about how to use the sitter in this video here, but do know that it is in the phone section and you do have to scroll to get to it. They kind of hide it a little bit. And lastly, this tip is specifically for the Pix party. I have found on the Pix party, I have been able to get a number of very, very cool items through the gift game. Though in the gift game, you do have to give a gift to receive one. So what I do is I purchase a number of very cheap or items that I don't really care about giving away, and I will use those in the gift game so that I can potentially get a pretty cool gift back. I am pretty sure that's how I got this dragon statue. And there are other very cool items that are only obtainable through the party feature on the Pix party, so don't forget to take advantage of this. All right, friends, that is my entire list of tips and tricks, things that have made my experience with the Pix and the Pix party much better. I'm sure there are way more than what I've talked about in this video, and I hope you share your favorite tips and tricks in the comments below. I hope you found this video informative. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below, and I will see you again soon. Bye!